The day was like any other Friday. Myself and my mother, both your typical fallen-away Catholics, were out and about doing errands and whatnot. We had fallen away from the church, as many Catholics did, when something in the family happened that left someone dismayed with the church. In familiar solidarity, the rest of us followed suit, believing there was a justification here of sorts. Fallen-away Catholics like myself usually have a story to tell. That is why what I will share is, and was, so very unlikely. As I said, my mother and I were out and about. We ended up at the local garden spot for Mom's usual petunia planting trip. As she was pondering all the colors, I began to mill about. I happened to notice a white concrete Our Lady in a shell statue in a grotto mixed among all the other garden ornaments. Her gaze and arms were downward. Seeing her among the frogs and fairies, I had a shadow of a thought from my long-lost Catholic school days when our family was devout. You see, my teenage son was on a troubling path. He was such a great kid until late in high school. Then he started to drink. Sneaky as that age can be, I did not realize, being the last to know, of course, that he had the family curse of alcoholism. My father used to say, one is an alcoholic even before the first drink, so my father never took one. But my son ventured into this high-risk behavior with his friends. The friends were fine, but my son was not. So there I stood in front of Our Lady with my heart broken. My son was troubled, and I was powerless and in pain myself, knowing how he suffered. In that moment, I remembered the Memorare prayer. I said what I could remember. O most gracious Virgin Mary, never was it known that anyone who fled to your protection, implored your help, or sought your intercession was left unaided. Mind you, I did not know really the words anymore, but I knew in front of her that the plea for her help existed. I said the prayer as best I could remember, filling in with my heart the words I did not know. I said to the Blessed Mother, you are a mother who had to stand by and watch your son suffer. You know a mother's heart. So there, in front of the garden store Mary statue, I said, I give you my son. I cannot seem to help him, so I give him to you, a suffering mother who knows a mother's pain. Then my mother called for my color opinion on the petunias in her cart. That evening, my son wanted to borrow my car to take a nice girl from a good family out to dinner. Surely this would be okay. When the time came to turn over the keys, I did. But within moments, something said, get the keys. I hesitated, and off he went. Eventually, I went to bed tired. On any other night, I would have waited up. At 3 a.m., I got the call every parent dreads. My husband answered the phone, and my son said, I want to talk to Mom. Are you okay? Oh no, are you in jail, son? Yes. Where's the girl? At home. Where's the car? I had an accident racing to get home on time. The next morning, when I went to the impound yard to see the car, the attendant had quite a story to tell. Oh, that car, he said. When the car was towed in, 2 police officers told the tale of answering an accident dispatch and seeing the back and roof of the car totally caved in. The car must have been going so fast into the wash, it flipped over and rolled backwards. No one could have survived. The 2 officers, still shaken, told how neither one wanted to go and see the dead body. It's your turn, because I have bad dreams, one officer said. No one was in the car. My child, my teenage son, was sitting on the curb, completely unhurt. My son remembers gripping the steering wheel. Nothing else. He did not even know exactly how he ended up sitting alone on the curb. Any other mother would have lost her son. So many mothers do in such a way. Or he would have been a quadriplegic for life. How was he and his mother and family spared such a devastating fate? It was a miracle. The Memorare said from the heart, even from someone fallen away, who had no holy merits to deserve a miracle at all. From the impound yard, I went to see my mother and told her the near fate of her grandson. Her response was, "We need to go and get that statue of the Blessed Mother." We did. She stood for years in the pose of the miraculous medal in a large rose garden in my backyard. I was short enough on funds that I could not afford the stone grotto shell that she stood in. After a time, the plaster coating on the cement seemed to wear along Our Lady's nose. I brought the heavy concrete statue inside. She has been in my home surrounded by artificial lilacs, just as she once stood when I sat by her on the curb in my first grade at Our Lady's Catholic School. Who deserves miracles? The undeserving like me? I don't know. I only know I implored her help, and as promised in that prayer, she despised not my petition, and I was spared every mother's most dreadful heartbreak. Here's the full text of the Memorare. Remember, O gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled your protection, implored your help, or sought your intercession was left unaided. Inspired with this confidence, we fly to you, O Virgin of Virgins, our Mother. To you we come, before you we stand, sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of the Word incarnate, despise not our petitions, but in your mercy, hear and answer us. Amen.